What's up everybody, my name is Keyblade and I am back with another Kingdom Hearts character profile, and now we're finishing off the Twilight Trio with Xion and also digging into more of the organization members. With Xion, she is one of the most unique probably characters in the Kingdom Hearts series, only showing up in one of the games and also being pulled along by the plot and also the plans of the organization. But that's enough talking, let's get into my character analysis of Xion.
I am pleased to announce that a new comrade has been chosen to wear the coat. Number 14.
To start it off, Xion has only been part of one big game. And this is Kingdom Hearts 358 by 2 Days, and she makes a short appearance in Dream Drive Distance and also appears in the 358 by 2 Days manga, and she is only ever playable in the multiplayer of 358 by 2 Days. But let's get to her main story, which starts out at near the beginning of 358 by 2 Days, where she is inducted as the 14th member of the organization, and is sent on many different missions to gather hearts for Kingdom Hearts, like the other organization members. But one day, she is sent on a mission with Roxas, and on the mission, we find out that Xion is able to wield the Keyblade, and the two bond over this fact, and soon becomes friends. And once Axel gets back, she is introduced to him, and they both become friends. They all three spend time together eating ice cream on the clock tower. Yet soon after this, she loses the ability to wield the Keyblade and then quickly gains it back, but soon comes face to face with Riku on a mission, and he calls her Keyblade a fake, and this causes Xion to question who she really was and why she wields the Keyblade, and she soon falls in and out of coma-like states multiple times, and once somewhat more stable, she runs away in order to find out who she is, and it is soon revealed that she is a puppet created from the leaking memories of Sora. She was being used as a failsafe in case Roxas fails to do his job. And Xion then meets Riku, who looks after her once she passes out again, and she soon begins to travel with Riku. Xion later then comes face to face with Roxas and Axel, who have been searching for her, and Axel then knocks her out and brings her back to the organization. And after a while, Xion begins to absorb the strength from Roxas, who is Sora's nobody, and Roxas begins to weaken along with this. And this is the entire plan of Xemnas, the leader of the organization, who has planned to create a puppet that would take away and replicate the powers of Roxas, and so they could then use this puppet for their own deeds. Later on a mission, Xion attacks Xigbar and runs away while Axel watches, and Xion then goes and finds Riku, who tells her to go to a girl named Naminé in Twilight Town, who will help to reform Xion back into Sora. And when she meets Naminé, she explains more about who Xion is and what is going to happen to her. And then Axel shows up, who is sent to bring her back to the organization, and he does. Xemnas then takes her away to reprogram her, and soon she confronts Roxas, and explains that in order for her to be complete, she must absorb Roxas into her. But reading the secret reports, it turns out she wanted to lose to Roxas in order to form back with him, and for Roxas to then stop Xemnas. And that is what happened. Xion loses Roxas and disappears to reform with him. All the memories that are associated with her basically disappears from everyone's minds. And her last request to Roxas was to defeat and stop Xemnas' plan, which Roxas then heads off to do. And that is basically it for her story in 358 by 2 Days, but in Dream Drop Distance she does appear twice, once when Sora was in his intense dreamlike state, and then she shows up in Sora's head when Roxas, Ventus, and Xion were all asking Riku questions. She also shows up in the Blink Points cutscene in Birth by Sleep, and that's about it for her appearances in the Kingdom Hearts series. She is voiced by Alison Stoner in 358 by 2 Days and 1.5 HD Remix, and is voiced by Hayden Panettiere in Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance in English, and in Japanese she is voiced by Risa Uchida, and that is basically it for her background.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Roxas.
Xion's personality starts out very similar to that of Roxas, where they are very quiet and to themselves most of the time, but they soon meet someone that they can open up to and become friends with. And due to her being leaked memories from Sora, she does have emotions, and in this case, she is very emotionally fragile, closing up really fast whenever something bad happens to her, like when she loses the ability to wield the Keyblade, but quickly perks up when she gets it back. She also does become angry and confused at times, such as when she finds out the means for her existence, and she soon becomes very lost. You can see that she is very observant of her surroundings too, noticing the slightest changes in moods and also noticing when people are talking about her. Her positive side is that she is a very happy and caring kind of person and seeks justice and is willing to give up her own existence in order to form back with Sora. She also has an interest in seashells, and this represents Kairi, who also cares and likes seashells too, shown when she goes to the beach and gathers seashells to bring back to Roxas. And also to note that she takes some of her personality, such as liking seashells, from Kairi, because in the time of her creation, Sora's strongest memories were of Kairi, and those are the basics of her personality.
Number 14.
Xion, for only being part of one game, actually has a few designs, and is actually pretty unique for this aspect. For about 90% of the game, she has an organization coat and has black hair, and her face is identical to that of Kairi's. And there is a reason for that, like I said a minute ago, and that is because in her creation, the strongest memory that was present was Kairi's when she took form. It also depends on who is looking at her, because for almost everyone else, she looks like someone who is connected to Sora's memories. She says to Xigbar, she looks like Ventus, and Axel says that she seems to resemble Naminé. But a lot of the other organization members just see her as a hooded puppet, and before she was about to fight Roxas in the final fight, she takes the form of Sora from Kingdom Hearts 1. She also has other looks that come into this final fight, and they are largely in many mechanized forms of what seem to be Keyblade armor that change at each stage of the battle, in which one resembles KH1's secret boss, Kurt Zisa. And for the most part, those are all her designs. Xion's regular fighting style is very similar to that of Sora's, with slower controlled two-handed attacks, but later when she begins to get stronger, she soon is able to use the limits that Sora is able to do in Kingdom Hearts 1. Like I've said multiple times, she has the ability to use the Keyblade, in her case the Kingdom Key. She also has the ability to absorb the strength of Roxas that allows her to use these limits. And her main limit break is called Event Horizon, in which she covers her Keyblade in light and deals very strong blows to her enemies. In her final limit, she summons Pillars of Light that Roxas also uses to attack with her Keyblade. Then as we see in her final boss fight, she can take many different forms due to the placement of devices placed by Xemnas for Xion to use, in which she has many strong strikes and is also able to use attacks similar to that of Ragnarok, and she also uses a lot more light attacks in these different forms. Xion, even after she forms back into Roxas, has a small amount of control, seen when Roxas comes up to face Riku. And Roxas seems to throw the Oblivion Keyblade to Riku, and this is Xion trying to get Riku to stop Roxas from fighting Xemnas, because she knows that Roxas isn't strong enough to beat him yet. And that is about it for her abilities and her fighting style. And that is it for my analysis of Xion, and even though she is only a large part of one game in the series, she does go through a lot and has a very sad end. But tell me, what do you think of Xion? Do you hate her? Do you like her? But my name's Arcane Keyblade, and don't forget to punch a like button if you enjoy the video, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.